So feel safe and enjoy the day. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, our assistant headmaster, for the wonderful welcome address. Okay, so I'll do a little introduction here so that we get to know who is here. So my name is Francis Akwa Ameni. I'm the president of the Internet Society Ghana chapter. I think I've been here before, so some of you know me. I have with me here Confidence Mausi, and we have Shadrach Ankara, who are all members of the Internet Society Ghana chapter. But we have our colleagues from the Internet Society Global, which they are here with us. So, can you give us a wave? Okay, so I'll please invite them to join us up here, if they don't mind. Please join us up here. All right. Okay, so we have Ruby from KWIX. I will also invite her to join us upstage. And we have Joseph from E-Crime. Am I right? Please also join us upstage. Okay, so today we're going to have a series of presentations. Okay, so today we're going to have a series of presentation, and it should be more interactive, okay? We're not here just to talk and blow your minds. We want to know what you know about the internet. Okay, but first of all, who can tell me what the internet is? What is internet? From your own perspective. What is internet? Hello? So who won't help me? Okay, please. Can you please come? Yes.
The internet basically is a network of various network of computers which allows the sharing of data information between one computer to another.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, will anyone want to add to what he said? We are learning. Nothing is too wrong, nothing is too correct. Anyone? I want a lady. I want a lady. Gender balance. Our ladies here. Who want to go? What is internet? Your definition of internet. Our ladies. Hello. I'm waiting. Okay, please come.
Internet is a global network of computers for sharing and receiving information.
Okay, that was amazing. All right, I think our microphone is getting better. Apologies for those who are not hearing us previously. Okay, so at this point, I'll give high panel a chance to say a word before we go to the main meat of the day. Because, as I said, we're going to have series of presentations and discussions. So I just allow them to say just a few words so that we can start.
Word. That's what she said. Hi. Hello. Can you hear me? Right. My name is Joseph. Joseph Quay, and you know, for me, sitting on this table with all these interesting people, I'm here to show you the other side of the internet, right? Because it's fun. The interesting side, the TikToks and all that. You know, those are the fun side, right? But it's not everyone on the internet who wants to do good, right? So for me, I'm here to show you, some of the things to look out for, when it comes to the being on the internet and then avoiding certain pitfalls. So I'm hoping we have a fun time, right? Let me pass on.
Thank you. I'm just going to introduce myself real quickly. My name is Gael Fall, and I work for Internet Society, the global. It's a nonprofit organization that works towards making the internet not only safer, but also a secure, openly connected, and trustworthy tool for each and every one of us. So we're really, really happy to be here with you, and we really hope that this is a learning platform for you and also a fun exchange that you can have with each of us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. And I work in IT, and I'm usually behind my desk, so it's nice to be in front of people. And yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking more about Internet Society with you later on.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruby Dameshi Brown. I work with Open Foundation West Africa, and we are an affiliate of Wikimedia. I'm here to talk to you about one interesting platform that you might have been using but not aware, and how we're using that to build the digital skills of the youth to be able to contribute to fact checked information online. So we want to teach you how you can also be part of this community and benefit from these resources and opportunities that we provide for the youth. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So now, want to really know what Internet Society is all about. All right, sure.
I am again. Hi. Can everyone hear me okay? Excellent. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Ashlyn Elizabeth. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, but I live in Switzerland now. And it's thanks to the internet in a way that I'm there. When I was in Los Angeles, California, I actually used the internet as a way to continue to learn and to grow. And it's true that when you learn, it can take you beyond your wildest imagination. But I'm actually representing Internet Society here. So at Internet Society, I work as an IT support advisor. So I'm usually behind my desk, and I help with support tickets, people having issues on their computer. So it's an honor and a privilege to be in front of you to speak. And yes, thank you, Francis, for inviting us and for having us here. But today is Safer Internet Day, right? But in order to know what it means to be safe, we must have an idea of what a threat is to us, right? So I'd like to ask you, or maybe someone to volunteer, what is a threat that they see on the internet? In what way do you feel threatened at your age on the internet? Is anyone? So you all feel safe on the internet? No. What's wrong? What's threatening it? Why do you not feel safe? I can't hear you. Please. The scams on the internet, yes. People taking your information, for example. I don't know if some of you have ever had a fake account. Someone makes a fake account about you. Or maybe some people bully you on the internet, say mean things about you. You want to come? Sorry? Give him a round of applause for coming up, please. Thank you.
So, catfishes on the internet make me feel unsafe. Yes.
Does everyone know what catfishing is? Can
Okay.
you explain what catfishing is?
So basically, catfishing on the internet is basically like social media. Let's say something like Instagram. Somebody could create an account on Instagram and be messaging you and be sort of disguise himself as someone else. They would basically say, I'm this, when rather they are not. So for instance, it could be a guy disguising himself as a girl to get some sort of information from you or something. That's what catfishing is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, that definitely is a threat, catfishing, because imagine you're talking to someone, you think they're great, etc., and then you show up in real life, it's not really who they are. And you're standing there, you're like, wow. Anyway. But you know what? These are actually at the application level, right? So these are on Instagram, Facebook, and typically when we use the internet, we think of the internet as these applications, as he was saying before. But it's deeper than that. So, internet society, we actually take a step deeper than that into the infrastructure of the internet. How are computers and devices connected? How do they speak together? They speak through protocols. Can you still hear me? Oh, yes, you can. And so we focus on that so that we can continue to share information freely and access goods and services on the internet between devices. Because just like you can catfish someone and imagine and pretend you're someone you're not, actually computers can also pretend to be a website, for example, and they could say, oh, the information is over here, but it's really not. But maybe we'll go into that later on. And as a part of Internet Society Global, connecting people are actually at the heart of our mission and what we do. So we work with chapters and our partners to empower people to keep the internet open and trustworthy and globally connected. So chapters, and in particular the Ghana chapter, bring value to our work and how our work for a secure and trustworthy internet is connected, and therefore the Safer Internet Day that we're celebrating today. So I'd like to just take quickly the opportunity to acknowledge some of the great internet champions that we have here in Ghana, in the Internet Society Ghana chapter. So from the chapter founder, Professor Ni, to the younger internet chapter champions like Thea Rose and Maud. So Thea Rose is the chapter of the current chapter secretary and is a great champion of encryption. And she's a journalist, and what she did was that she organized a workshop to teach local journalists how to be safe online and protect their sources using encryption. And then Maud is the chapter vice president, but she's been leading the chapter's local work on safer internet for kids. And it's through a project that's funded by the Internet Society Foundation. So the work of this Ghana chapter and the champions and Internet Society in itself contribute to make the internet safer and secure, but also ensure that the internet remains a force for good in society, so you can continue to access information and these goods and services and these Instagram. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions for her? No questions. Shadak, are you ready? Okay, so we're going to take a presentation from Shadak Ankara. He's going to give us an overview of the activities of Ghana Chapter, Internet Society, and the various opportunities that are available for you as students. And after school, the industry, what are the opportunities? What is there for you? So he's almost ready. After that, we'll take another one from Confidence. Also, that would just be a top-up of what Shadrach could do. They're all going to take ISOC Ghana in perspective, our activities and what is available for you as ICT students and part of the internet ecosystem. So I would want to hand over the microphone to Shadrach.
Hope you can hear me. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so as mentioned, my name is Shadrach. So that and a lot of people have lost their life. I hope you've heard of that news. Okay, so during ensure that so during emergency, people should be able to, one, communicate with their families and friends. Two, they should be able to get access to water. Three, they should be able to get access to food and other needs that will make their life comfortable. So with the introduction of the emergency communication committee in Ghana, this committee will ensure that to collaborate like NADMO, to be able to provide people with access to the internet, so that if someone is affected in a rural place, they'll be able to communicate with someone in Accra. This is to them. So through the internet, people can communicate with each other, and their needs will be provided. That's what committee for the near future of the few years. We envision that countries will be able to cater for the needs of people during the emergency. So this is telecommunication committee. So to get started, okay, I wanted to show you a presentation, but it seems we are having a I'll just go through it. Here was the presentation being set up. Okay, so I think an intro has been said about what Internet Society is about and what the Internet Society does. Okay, so the Internet Society is an organization which was founded in 1992 by early internet pioneers like Vincent. I know maybe some of you have heard of him and others who haven't. Okay. So he, in collaboration with other early pioneers, um, have invented the internet, and now we can share information, we can listen to news, and enjoy our day-to-day activities on the internet. So the Internet Society's vision is to make the internet accessible to everyone, me and you, our grandparents in the rural areas. Everyone should be able to have access to the internet without any barriers. And the Internet Society also have chapters like the Ghana chapter, Ethiopia chapter, UK chapter, Japan chapter, and the rest. And also special interest groups. That's 6. So these special interest groups also helps promote the work of the Internet Society. So for example, we have the Cybersecurity SIG, where when it comes to issues related to cybersecurity, this SIG helps with issues with cybersecurity. And there is the gender on the internet. They too handles so this SIG is also there for issues related to education. Okay, so as I said, the chapters and SIGs promote the activities of the Internet Society globally. Next slide. Okay, so currently there are about 98,000 plus 98,000. So these members include me, Francis, and all other people who have registered to become members of the Internet Society. And there are 130 or plus chapters and SIGs who also promote the work of the Internet Society. There are 90 organization members. So organization members are, we can take Intel, for example, as an organization member. And there is Microsoft, I think Google, and the rest are organizational members of Internet Society. Okay, and yeah, these people also promote, these organizations also promote the work of the Internet Society. And when the next is the staff of the Internet Society. So as you've seen them here, they also work with chapter the community to ensure that the internet is safe, open, and globally connected. And there is the board of trustees who also ensures that the work of the community goes smoothly. And we have followers, so someone can maybe follow Internet Society on social media and then be able to learn what the Internet Society is doing. Yeah. So this is the vision of the Internet Society. The internet. So it doesn't matter whether you are a farmer, you have a family member living in the rural community, you should be access to the internet, share information, also consume information, and then transact business on the internet without any barrier. And yeah, you as students also should be able to have access to the internet. And yeah, so okay, so the mission of the Internet Society is to support and promote the development of the internet as a global tech infrastructure, a resource to reach people's life, and a force for good in our society. Okay, as we all know, the internet helps us to learn, do research, transact business, and as I mentioned, during emergencies, the internet also helps us to communicate, be able to get our basic needs done. Yeah. Okay, so this is the internet ecosystem. So when it comes to the internet ecosystem, we have various players who come together to form the internet ecosystem. So we have users. So users are me and you. We have civil internet end users, and we also have shared global root servers. Very technical. Later, maybe you can search more about it. Okay. And okay, so highlights activities. Okay, to help the internet society achieve its mission. Okay, one is facilitate open development of standards, protocols, administrations, and technical infrastructure. Okay, and as said, to be able to communicate on the internet, first you need to have what we call IP address. Okay, whether IPv4, IPv6. This is what the protocol that the internet uses to communicate. Okay, so this protocol is also developed by a group of volunteers called Internet Engineering Task Force. Internet Engineering Task Force. Yeah, so these are group of volunteers who develop standards and protocols for the internet. Support in education development in developing countries, specifically. Yeah. Okay. Provide education, for example, is the Youth IGF Ambassadors Program, where young group of people are trained about what the Internet Society does and internet governance in general. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, so these some of the activities that the Internet Society engages in. One is community networks. So when it comes to communities where there is no access to the Internet Society, through an initiative called Community Networks, helps provide connectivity in rural areas. So, for example, maybe in your community, you don't have access to the internet. When the community networks are being deployed over there, you'll be able to have access to the internet where the telcos find it non-profitable to go. So these networks help people to share information in their local communities. Yeah. And okay, so as a member of the Internet Society, there are a lot of benefits that you get to gain from the community. So one, you get support for your work. So for example, if you are doing a research in maybe cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, there are other members who also have those skills. So if you need maybe help in those areas, there are a group of people who have the skills to help you with your work. And you have access to free online courses. ISOC also have a learning platform where you can go there, you learn about, free of charge. You don't pay anything as a member. You get to learn about internet governance, how to build networks, like fundraising. There are a lot of courses for you to learn and then gain knowledge about the internet community. Okay. It's just free, the online course. Yeah, free. Okay. So the course is free. So you just either Google Internet Society online courses, you'll be able to get the URL to. Yeah, and there's also a certificate after completing each course. Okay, so there are moderated courses and self-paced courses. So with a moderated one, you have a tutor and a moderator who would guide you through the course. But the self-paced one, you learn at your own time, and then after that, you get your certificate for each of the courses. And you also have access to, so with the learning, you participate in free training events, workshops, and the rest. So, for example, last year, May, ISOC Ghana in collaboration with Network did emergency telecommunication training where network engineers, NGOs, humanitarian workers came together and they were taught how to deploy networks during an emergency and how to deal with people when an emergency strikes. Okay, so that's one of the benefits you gain. And also you have the chance to attend events which some of them are being sponsored for free. For example, the Global Internet Governance Forum, ISOC through their Youth Ambassadors Program, sponsors a lot of youth to participate in, and the United Nations also provides funding for people to attend. So this event, you'll be able to learn what internet governance is from this event. There's also DRIV, Ghana IGF, West African IGF, Africa Internet Summit, WACRI, and the rest. All of these meetings, you'll be able to learn, network from people. Yeah, you'll be able to form new friends, and it's really a great space to be in. I've benefited a lot from being a member of this community. So maybe at the end of the slide presentation, I'll show you some pictures of some of the events that I've attended. Okay, so these are the fellowship or travel opportunities that you gain. As I've already mentioned, ISOC, IGF Youth Ambassadors Program. So currently, application is being opened until 22nd February, so you can apply, and then you get a chance to attend the IGF. And there is Afrinic. So I don't know if you heard of Afrinic before. Afrinic. Okay, so earlier on I mentioned that the internet uses a language that it understands. That is the IP address. Okay, so these resources are being managed by what we call RIs, Regional Internet Registry. So in Africa, Afrinic is the organization that manages and distributes these IP addresses to ISPs, banks, and the rest, to be able to use for the ICT infrastructures and the rest. When you go to Latin America also, they have LACNIC, who is the manager of these resources. And there is ICANN, which is the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. So this is the mother organization that assign these IP blocks to the various RIs for them to manage these resources. And there's Africa Internet Summit. So as I said, these events, or you'll be able to get free funding to participate in them. There's also the West African IGF and School of IGF, the Global IGF. Okay, so later you can just search online to learn more about these, and you get to form a global network of people with diverse knowledge and diverse opportunities. Yeah, next slide. Okay, so I think I'm at the end of the slide. So these are just a few pictures of some of the events that I've attended globally, not in Ghana. Okay, so with the one on my left-hand side, the first one is Afrinic Fellowship, which was held in Angola, Luanda. So over there, I met new people. I learned a lot about the internet governance, the stakeholders of the internet, and the rest. So as you've seen, it's really enjoyable. And the middle one is Germany, that's Berlin, the global IGF over there. There too, whilst you are learning, you are also enjoying from it. So it's not only about just learning. You also get to enjoy. And the right-hand side is 2021 IGF in Poland. Okay, so over there, it was the youth summit where we presented some of the issues being faced by youth on the internet. And yeah, the downward one was also Germany. And you see, there are a group of youth you mingle with, you enjoy, you learn a lot from. Yeah, as you can see, the right-hand down picture also, this is Kasan, a lot of youth. Yeah. So these are some of the few benefits. There are a lot, but these are just a few that I'm showing you. Yeah, so thank you. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ankara. Please, do you have questions for Shadrach? All right, please come. We have just one microphone, so you may have to come up front. Thank you. All right.
With the special interest chapters, what do they base in? Like, what specifically do they do?
Okay, so as I said, they promote the work of ISOC Global. Okay, so for this year, there's if for each year there is action plan, okay, which the Internet Society based on for all chapters to work around. So there is one called split internet. Okay, so it's about how governments around the world are trying to build their own network outside the internet. So if a special interest group, for example, is focused on split internet, that's the splitting of the internet into various networks. This action plan will help the special interest group to focus on issues related to this. Okay, so for example, you can advocate for an open internet where everyone will have access to one internet, one information, unlike where governments are trying to have their own internet governed by themselves. So with that one, is really hard for people to have access to certain information. So these special interest groups are based on a specific objective. And there's the cybersecurity special interest group where issues related to threats and the rest, they also advocate for these issues. When it comes to education, there's a internet for education, so maybe digital education, how to build capacity of people when it comes to ICT and the rest. So these special interest groups are just focused on a specific internet related issues governed by all what should I say, by working around the ISOC action plan. So these are some of the activities done by the special interest group. So any other question? Okay, so as during the time I was studying in the university, it was just one thing that got my interest. I had always planned to travel, and one of my lecturers, who was ISOC member, he's still an ISOC member, mentioned that you have the opportunity to travel, you get per diem and the rest. So as I heard that was that, I just went online, searched for courses, ISOC courses. I learned. I applied for 1 or 2 fellowship. I get denied, but that wasn't the end. I applied for the 3rd time. I got it. Yeah, others you apply once, you get it. So I just had travel, you enjoy, that is it, and you learn. So that was what I wanted to get from the community: travel, learn, and also teach or impart the knowledge I've gotten with my community. So maybe what I've also said, maybe something might interest you, might also want to meet new people outside, learn from them. This is the right community to be in to gain that from. So still waiting for more questions. Yeah. Last one.
Okay, so you mentioned that with ISOC Learning, there are some free online courses that we could take and get certificates from afterwards. Could we get some more information on that, like some of the courses that we could take and a little bit more on that? Thank you.
Okay, so as I said, there is internet governance course, there is a networking course, there is building networks, there is a network course. I'm forgetting the full title, but it's networking and Linux. So you get to learn about networking whilst you are also learning more about Linux commands and the rest, and building wireless community networks. Okay, so this course, the wireless community network course, actually directs you or guides you how to do survey of a community when you want to deploy a network in a remote community. What do you need to do? So you have to maybe do survey of the community, whether it's a hilly place, a lower land. Okay, so you factor in all these things and then you deploy these networks. Okay, so this course actually guides you through the process involved in deploying the network. And there are other courses. I don't know if maybe I could be helped with the other courses.
All right, so I think it's of time. All right, thank you so much, Shadrach. We may have to move to the next presenter, and we'll take the questions later. So I will invite Confidence Mausi very briefly. He's going to take us through our social media, which is very important. Yeah, so we call him Confidence. He doesn't like the same name. So the name is Confidence. Please take the stage.
Sorry. Good morning, everyone. Right. I hope this microphone doesn't disappoint me as what it did to Shadrach. Right. Thank you so much. I have just 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm going to take you through briefly on what Madam Harriet gave us, and then what we want to give you as students. Right. You've heard about the Safer Internet Day. Shadrach and other speakers have done justice to what we are going to talk about as a subject. So Safer Internet Day 2023 Ghana, today was observed in Laboni Senior High School. We must be proud of ourselves. Let's clap for ourselves. Right, so we've mentioned that we are from the Internet Society Ghana chapter, and then what we believe in, where the internet means opportunity, and then we care about the future of the internet. So what do we do at Safer Internet Day? So when is Safer Internet Day is celebrated every February, and then Tuesdays in February, let me say that. So today is chosen as the 7th of December in 2023 for Safer Internet Day. Where do we take these actions? So these actions are taken in schools, assemblies, conferences, and etc. What do? We just talk about issues about the internet that matters to people. So for example, issues that matters to category of people like you. So you are students, we are talking about issues that matters to you as students. Okay, so my presentation will focus on these objectives, and then I'll talk briefly about the internet, the concepts, and then some of the terminologies we use in the internet, the basic requirements you need for internet, and then I'll talk about email, and then URL, and then search engines. If you just take note about the first four, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the very first four, it's just about it's what entails in your syllabus as Form 2 students, and then people that ICT matters to you. So we just have to take that briefly. And then I will speak briefly in 3 minutes on digital literacy, online accountability, and then awareness as security edition as part of our internet celebration. There is a quote here I want all of us to read together. So 1, 2, can we start? Hello. I'm sure most of us will be in our rooms and then we lock our doors before we sleep. Or better still, we close our gates. Those of you who live in gated communities will close your gates, and then within a certain time you don't enter. We sometimes put passwords on our phone, but we are not sometimes security conscious. That's what we want to create awareness about today. So the internet, just as we know, and then as it's written in your syllabus, it's just connected networks of thousands of networks together. Now, the internet was actually developed to link academics, research institutions, and government and commercial institutions. What has been realized that the growing internet has grown too fast for us to actually quantify its growth and what? Physical needs, and then what's the next one? Safety needs. Where do you move to? You can't even tell me. Right, that's fine. So if you look at the Abraham Maslow's theory of need, you realize that there is nothing like Wi-Fi or data, but these days, Wi-Fi or data is important. Because even if you are hungry, you spend your last CD on a data. So internet is something that is really important, and we have to talk about that. Internet has been used in different spheres of life. So for people who are interested in research, they use internet. Internet is used to download files. We download different types of files from the internet, movies and etc. Without the internet, we can't do that. We take groups discussion online, so the people doing online group studies and etc. We play interactive games, so most of you play online games, and it's as a result of the internet. There is education and self-improvement. Shadrach mentioned courses you can take on ISOC sites and etc. So this as a result of the internet, the basis of which internet is built. And then some of us have friends and then peer pals and then etc. from outside the country that we stay, and it's as a result of the internet too. But there are issues that arise with the internet. So for example, there's something we call social alienation, there's something we call cybercrime, there's something we call internet addiction, and there's something we call, it's fine. So let's just focus on all these three things. The history of internet, as you might have studied in your classes, we are saying it's coming.
Hello.
Yeah, this is better. Right, so you might have heard the Hello. I am sorry I said it's better. It will get better soon. So the history of internet had moved through several spaces. So we tell you that the Advanced Research Project Agency Network, the APRANET, developed the internet in the 1969s. You have different dates.
Hello.
It sounds better. Right.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
The fourth one. Give him the code.
Hello.
It's the network. So where should I move to? Come closer. Here. I have to hold my laptop. Or I will just. Right. Okay, so he's telling me it's the network.
Hello. Hello.
Right, so the internet has been developed on the basis that it was built on a peer-to-peer network. So the fundamental of the internet was built that, okay, so people can actually come closer and then share the information or etc. That was the basis or the fundamental of on which internet was built. Now you realize that in these times or in these modern times, the issue or the importance or the relevance of the internet has changed as to what it was built for. But there are lots of things you might know about the internet, and that's something that matters to you. There's a quote here, and then it says that for those born into a world with the internet, the sky is the limit. Now, there are several years ago that you cannot communicate with people outside Ghana. There are several times you cannot sit inside your house and then take a course or get a certificate online. There are several times you can't sit in your house and play an online game. But as a result of the internet, there are several things you can do. So you people can talk about the metaverse, the virtual reality, and etc. These are as a result of the internet. I'm sure you know a lot of things about the internet, and this is where we begin to have our conversation. So you might mention intranet in your classes. I'm sure you can just go and read about it. So intranet is when just there's a local network and then they can communicate among themselves. So for example, Laboni Senior High School will have an intranet where computers in different offices are able to communicate, and then we see that's an intranet. So there is a server, and then there are other clients. There's a file server and etc., printing server and etc. And we have an extranet where we have different intranets coming together to communicate. And then that can be used, for example, school here in Laboni Senior High School and then Aquinas are able to communicate without necessarily, just be able to communicate between their files, and then they're able to download files from etc. from one end to another. So that's when extranet comes together. Now, this has been the basis of which the internet is built. So there is different small networks in places, and then they've come together to form what we call the internet. And you might have read about protocols, and I'm sure that's something you want to read about. The file transfer protocols, the IP protocols. Shadrach mentioned IP version 4 and then IP version 6. These are the standards. These are something they can do your own reading on. Right. And I just want you to bring your mind to this fact where I'm saying, so an online attack takes place every 39 seconds. So 39 seconds is just close to half a second, and then in every 39 seconds, there's an online attack. So an online attack on a bank, an online attack on an institution, online attack on a person or etc. So every 39 seconds. So these are the several, or one of the needs why we have to discuss about safety on the internet. And then 238% rise in cyber attack against online banking platforms. A lot of people want to hack the banks because they think money is there. People want money. So banks have to get about that. And then we say in South Korea had 230 million threat detections in total, while Kenya had 72 million and Morocco is 71. So there's a lot of threats. We have to talk about the internet, and then we have to stay safe. 2 users have had data leak in every second in 2022. So in 2022, every 2 users have their data leak. So for example, we say that in the internet, it's either you've been hacked or you're yet to be hacked. So that's what you don't know. So you have to always stay safe. I'm just left with 5 minutes, and then I'll just brush through this and then go away. So we are talking about safety internet day. What is it to us, and then what matters to us as students, and then as people and the users of the internet? So I'll just take you through online accountability, how you have to be accountable online. For example, if I give you 20 Ghana cedis to go to the shop there and then buy me something, when you come, you have to account to me that you use 10 Ghana cedis for food, 5 Ghana cedis for a drink, and then 2 Ghana cedis for water. That's being accountable. And then even in our schooling, we are accountable to our teachers because they give us class tests, they give us exams, and then we are accountable to them. The truth of the matter is that the internet never forgets. So a lot of things you do online stays online, and then you don't know when it's deleted. So you want to be very accountable with the things that you do for yourself. So because you'll be living till 70 years, 80 years, the things that you do at this your tender age can come back to harm you. So that's what we are looking at now. You all use social media. So for example, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and etc. These are various social media you use. How safe it is? The social media is never safe because you understand that. So if you're not buying the product, we say in tech that if you're not buying product, it means that you are the product. No one here is buying WhatsApp. No one here pays to use Facebook. So it means that literally you are the product. And then products are being sold. So it means that all of us, we are being sold because you use WhatsApp, you use Facebook and Snapchat and etc. Now, a lot of times as students like us, it's just that it will take our time, it will take our energy, and then it will bring us issues like mental health and then etc. We lose concentration. Now, studies have shown that a lot of youth, people within your age, take validation online. So for example, when you post a picture online, someone says you are beautiful. That's when you feel you are beautiful, even when your parents tell you are beautiful. But in other sense, when you post an online picture online, someone says, look at your head, look at your nose. Sometimes you get so devastated the whole day. People that you've not seen before, they insult you online, and then you feel so angry. It doesn't happen. So these are a few dangers associated with the internet. Now, there is issue around cyberbullying that we want to focus on. As students, no one is allowed to bully anyone in that sense. So, for example, if you insult someone, if you physically abuse someone, if you emotionally abuse someone, we are taking you on. And even as a country, our laws doesn't allow that. People bully people online. For example, some of you just have anonymous accounts. You mentioned that. And then on your anonymous account, what you do is you just have to be teasing people every day. You just post nonsense. It's no relevance, but you hide behind that and then you do that. That's cyberbullying, something in that sense. There is issue around privacy. Privacy entails with what has to come online, what shouldn't come online. Ladies and gentlemen, our life, not all our life should become online. For example, some people will just have to tell stories about A to B of what is happening in their life online. So today they are just putting on a new dress and etc. and etc. It doesn't really matter. And then identity theft. A lot of people steal people's identity, or they hide behind things to do things that doesn't matter. And there's something we call unrealistic expectation. What happens is that, for example, you have seen just your friend after school year or maybe a vacation at maybe a very beautiful hotel, and then you feel the person has taken pictures there. Your friend is driving a car, and then you feel you have to also drive a car. That's what we call unrealistic expectation. It really doesn't happen. So people are just living their life to show things that doesn't happen, and then you focus so much, it just drives your attention. So these are things that you want to be safe around on the internet. And there's something we call phishing. You read about that. So for example, a lot of times you have a lot of text messages. Your parents will have messages about a bank alert that someone has sent them mobile money. These are very few stories going around. What happens is that whenever the message is so much urgent, requiring you to do something, for example, someone calls your parents or someone calls you. Maybe some of you don't have big money in your bank account, so they will not call you. But they will call your parents, and then they will tell them, dial this and this, and then access your mobile PIN. Anytime messages are so much urgent, it's phishing, and you don't have to pay attention to that. phishing occurs here when a person has a pop-up email or requesting for personal information or password or personal data. Now, usually they want to request for data from you or they want to get money from you. There are several ways you want to use to recognize how phishing appears. So when the language doesn't appear so formal, maybe sometimes robots can do that. And then sometimes when there is a link, click on this link to get 25 gig data. No one does that. No one. There's no free lunch, ladies and gentlemen. No one will ask you to click and get a coupon. It doesn't really happen. So you have to be so much careful with how things happen. There is something we call spoofing. Spoofing, literally just in literal sense, is saying that, yeah, I can be you. So when people go online and then you just hide behind the walls or your phone and then trying to be like someone. So that's just what we call spoofing. I will just end with what we call cyber sense and then nonsense. A lot of us or our parents ask us to be very wise in our daily activities. So wisdom is important. Cyber sense is just doing the right thing online. So I keep telling people I talk to that the things that you cannot do when your parents are there, or the things you cannot do when your teachers are there, you shouldn't do them online. That's the point. Because the internet will never forget. So cyber sense. And then every other thing that you do, that when your parents are there, you can't do it is nonsense. And then one day it will come a way to affect you. Now, these are several rules that I want you to learn. So the first rule is play nicely online. There is no point insulting people online because if you really want to get you, we will get you. So play nicely online. Respect people's privacy. Don't take people's phone if they've not asked you to. You just pick someone's phone. You're going through the pictures. You're going through emails. You're going through WhatsApp chat. Has the person asked you to do? No. So please respect people's privacy and then don't do what they've not asked you to do. Know your audience. So a lot of times when you are, there is something we call social media ethics. So in a group chat, you are not supposed to go and drop things that is personal about someone. So you know your audience. If you don't have to use shorthands. These are all things about social media ethics. And then just the fact. So we keep telling people seeing is not always believing, and then sharing is not always caring. So for example, the fact that you've seen that Laboni High School, the administration is burning, and then you want to go and post it, the school is burning. So you saw it online, so seeing is not always believing, and then sharing is not always caring. And then the fact that you heard the news, you went to share in all groups. Sharing is not always caring too. And then don't spam your friends. Don't go ahead posting plenty messages to your friends if they've not requested it. And then always think before you act. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to tell you oversharing is not the rule of the game. Don't overshare, and then the internet never forget. Just learn to be yourself, and then you can have a very safe internet life. Thank you very much.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much, Confidence. It's been a wonderful presentation. I believe you have so many questions for him. But since his presentation has a little to do with cybersecurity, I would allow Joseph, so that we take the questions together, or I should give them the honors. All right, so we'll pick like about 3 questions for Confidence, if anyone has a question. Any question for Confidence? We are okay? No question? Wonderful. All right, Joseph, yeah, you have the floor.
All right. Good morning once again. I'll keep it brief because, I have to go and do something quite urgent. And you understand at the end of this session why I have to do that. My name is Joseph Kwe. It's a lovely school you have here. Myself, I went to Infantipim, right? But I love this place so much because a lot of the surroundings remind me of, the school where I was from. And it's nice to see all of you here, honestly. My job here is very simple, right? I'm here to just, touch on a few things that I think you should look out for. All in the interest of, being safe online. When you go online, some of the things you look out for and things you can put in place to protect yourself. You see, sometimes, these people who go and hack you and then you've lost access to your account, they don't really do anything complicated. Sometimes your password is just bad, right? Some of you, how many of you are, it's not a religious class, but how many of you are Christians? All right, sure. So maybe some of you, being in the spirit, you go like, it's in it. Being in the spirit, you go like, my password is Jesus, because Jesus is my savior and all that. But Jesus is a good savior, but it's a bad password, right? So, sometimes the passwords are just bad, right? So for over here, my objective is very simple. My objective is to highlight on some of the common, like just two of the common issues you are likely to face using cyber devices, like IT devices, and using internet, right? Two issues. Then we'll talk about at least two best practices, and then we'll end there, okay? Right. There's something I've learned as I've grown, right? And I want you to cultivate that habit. At this stage, I've been here, right? A lot of you are shy. A lot of you, before you even raise your hands to ask questions, you are thinking about the number of permutations, how this person will see you, whether you are thinking about a lot of things. And I understand that. It's a stage. What I would advise you to do, right, is that slowly come out of your shell, right? If there's a question, raise your hand before you even think whether you should raise your hand or not, right? Do these things bit by bit, and it starts building your confidence as you go on, okay? So, take a risk. That's all I'm saying. And you see the rewarding side of it. Right. Can you see it? Can you see it? Is it clear? Is it visible? Yeah, it's not really visible. But what you are seeing there is, he mentioned that, there are a lot of cyber attacks and things online. I wish it was that clearer, because you would see that this is a map that is tracking the cyber attacks happening currently. So it's like a real-time tracking. And so for this particular website, you can check it out. You can note it down and check it out later, right? If you go to Google and type checkpoint, right? Checkpoint live threat map. Okay, checkpoint live threat map. You can note it down for later. They show you the cyber attacks that are happening every second in a particular time. And when I checked this morning, the number of cyber attacks that were recorded from 12 o'clock as at today to this current time is around 9 million. Oh yes, that's even small. If you check the website, you will get to see that the number increases exponentially each and every day. It is simply to let you know that, look, where do you live? What location do you live? Do you live in Accra? Where do you live? Labadi. Right. Where do you live? Please, I'm not saying that so that you go and visit them. Don't go and visit. Stay in your houses. You are at Kolebu, right? And then the last one. Michelle Camp. Now, would you agree that without these respective people and where they live, right? Everyone, when we talk about a threat, that is something that can harm you or can cause danger to you. Everyone and where they live has something that is unique to that area. In some areas, maybe armed robbers are there. In some areas, there are thieves there. Do you agree to that? So why we are seeing all this number of cyber attacks is because when it comes to the internet, the threat and attacks, they're not limited to a specific location. Do you understand? It is almost like when we come to the internet, because we are all networked, it's almost like we are living in one big compound house. Do you understand that? So because of this concept, it means that someone in the United States and you in Ghana, it's almost like you are living together. And because of this, the people who are also criminals in other countries and have bad intention, they have that much access to you. That is why we are seeing the kind of attacks that we are seeing. So the point is, internet can be a good place, but there are people who have bad intentions, and they are constantly trying to gain access either to your account or your computer, and you need to be like know this and then put some measures in place. Okay? Right. Let's move on. Like we don't need to go over the definition. Let's go. Right. So we understand. I mean, this is basically a graphic that was explaining what I was talking about. That on the cyberspace, we are in one physical. It's like as if we are in one location. So the distances don't matter. So please go ahead. Okay. Just skip to get to the next slide. Let's move. Let's move. Let's move. Right. Pause. Go back a bit. So I mentioned we'll talk about two threats you are likely to face. Then after that, we are going to talk about two best practices. The first threat here is what we want to talk about. It's called social engineering, right? And I want you to define what it means based on what you, like if you look at the name, social engineering, what do you think it means? You can lie to us, it's okay. Oh, guess, right? You do social studies, right? You do social studies, right? Social studies. So don't worry, it's not like when you ask me, I'll come to you, don't worry. Okay, you do social studies, right? So what do you think social engineering means? Right, so let's take this into practicals. We are going to have a play, a session. Right? Do you have a drama club here? Who is in the drama club? Hey, okay, you are in the drama club. Say, come over here, okay? I need another lady who's in a drama club. We are going to act a play right now, okay? Right, what's your name?
I'm Hallowed.
Hallowed. Hallowed. Nice name. Your name?
Stephnell.
Stephnell. Interesting names. I like it. Right. The play is very short and simple. Right. Here's the premise of the play. Right. It's actually more of a task than a play. So, Hallowed, please, this is imaginary. We are just playing here. Don't take it seriously. I don't want any teasing after this, nothing. We are just playing here. Hallowed, in this hypothetical play, you are interested in having her as your girlfriend. Hey, relax. Now, this is my challenge for you. My challenge is you are supposed to find out if she's dating, right? Or she's already has a boyfriend. But you can't ask her directly if she has a boyfriend. Find a way to get that information out of her without asking her if she has a boyfriend. Is the instruction clear? And so with that said, action.
Hello. Good day. I'm Hallowed, and you?
I'm Stephnell.
Stephnell, lovely. Okay. I'm just new to this place, and I'm looking for a friend. I hope you could be of one.
I don't really like
Hello.
making new friends, actually.
I understand you, but I'm not of any harm. So.
All right, so let's
Oh, okay.
All right. How about to find the information? So let's go.
But first, I want to ask, like, you speaking of not making male friends, do you actually have a male who, like, you are okay with?
Yeah, kind of.
You saying kind of, I don't get you correctly.
I mean, I have a male bestie.
Okay. Bestie, is it a BB one or just the bestie?
I said bestie, of course. Bestie.
So, BB, I mean bestie with benefit or just bestie?
And I said bestie. Bestie with no benefit.
Your last time.
Then that's cool. That's cool. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Clap for them. Okay. Clap for them. Both of them. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Was he successful? But I have to commend you. I think I like the way you started. I like the way you made conversation. Please, I have a lot to learn from you, frankly speaking. But in this scenario, right, that we played out right now, hey, but you are long ago. Hey, this scenario that we just played out, right? Some people will have other means they will do this, right? Some girls, some guys will say that, hey, me, I don't want anyone to come and beat me, right? Like those kind of things. And when they say that, what are they saying? What are they really trying to imply when they say those kind of things? Like, hey, are you sure we can work together? I don't want anyone to come and beat me. They are intentionally talking like that so that they will find a way to get you to admit whether you are dating someone or not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the premise of what we call social engineering. With social engineering, right, the whole idea is that, human beings, we form a society. And when you say someone is sociable, they are very easygoing and able to relate with people. Social engineering is basically taking advantage of this. The things that make us human, the things that make us able to chat and interact with each other, but with a twist. The person who is doing social engineering is trying to extract information from you, but it's not doing it directly. It's rather using psychology and emotions to try and get that out of you. Do you understand? Now, I had wanted to play a particular sound and a video here. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? It's not so clear, right? In this scenario, what was happening is that, and that's something that some of your parents have been experiencing. You can go to the next one. Something your parents have been experiencing. Your parents are there, suddenly they get a call, and there's an ambulance sound in the background. And then they say that, they mention that you have been involved in an accident. They mention your name and all the things, the school you go to. She goes to Laboni, right? We are at the hospital. We need to do surgery fast. It's all social engineering. And the people who are doing that, which is a bit, so I recorded one. I actually got a call from one of such people. So I recorded it. I wanted to play it to you. The people who are doing all of those things are using what? Social engineering. And why? They are trying to manipulate your parents' fear and concern to extract something out of it. So mostly after that scenario, they will mostly ask for something like, oh, we need money to take your child to the lab. The doctor says he needs some money. And they too, because they are panicking and they are reacting like human beings, they fall victim. So social engineering, that is what the whole concept is about. Manipulating people to get something out of them. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, how does it work? So the way social engineering plays out in Ghana, there are so many examples. The Momo scams, I don't know if any of you use mobile money at your level, but you have seen the scams that come around that. They call you, say they've sent money, so many scams. But has anyone heard of the call that starts with, when you pick up, the person says, Auntie Neo? Have you heard that before? Sister Neo, right? And pay attention to what they do. They call, they say, Sister Neo, they are your relative in UK or London. They are trying to send some items to you. And this is all social engineering. And the way they talk so that you make it look like what? They know you, right? And then they take advantage. So the examples are many. Has anyone received the Malam, I'll kill you call before? Oh, okay, you haven't. Well, what it means is you get a call, and then this person says they are a spiritual divination person, and they have seen in their crystal ball that you are supposed to die. And someone has brought your name to be killed. But they can check the stars in alignment and see that you are a good person, so they don't want to kill you. So if they want them to remove the thing, you have to send some money for them to buy some items. If you've not received it, prepare for it, it will come, right? Let's look at how the social engineering works. So go ahead. I want you to go to the next slide, right? Just move on. Go ahead. How social, no, please come a bit, one step back. Okay, one step back. Forward. Pause. Here. How do people who do social engineering, how do they do it? I want us to draw a lot of inspiration and content from what Confidence talked about here. They start first and foremost, it's a 3-step process. Step 1, they gather information about the person they are targeting. So in this, anyone who does social engineering, the more information they can gather on you, the better. That is why he was talking about the things we share. Because eventually they are going to gather all of these things and then wind it into some way to try and use it to some end. You understand? So for example, on your social media, you have posted where you live, you posted the pictures and the places you go, you posted the schools you visited and all of that. The social engineer is simply going to take this information and then the next call is, hey, Samson, do you understand pidgin language? You know they carry me, oh, we were in Laboni together. And then because your Facebook friend list, your permissions allow for anyone to see your friends. He picks one friend and is like, I'm Francis Amuzu, I was in business 3. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So they are using the information you yourself have shared. And then they are packaging it right back to you to get to the step 2. And the step 2 is what? Use the information to gain your trust. So that's how social engineers work. They gather information about you, use the information to gain your trust. And the third one is they try to manipulate you psychologically to either give them information or commit an action. Is that clear so far? So what is step number 2? No, you're looking on the board. Look at my face. What's step number 2? Use the information to gain your trust. Say, thank you so much. Move on. Okay, let's wrap it up. So where they gather the information, there's a lot of places. Social media is one. Some of you to your WhatsApp, how many of us use WhatsApp? I'm sure all of us, sure. Most of us. Your WhatsApp status, which is a way of sharing to the world what you have been up to. Some of you is too detailed. Your WhatsApp status tells your life from morning to evening, everything you do, right? Yeah, so some of these things that you share, they just harvest it and use it to their advantage, right? I'm just telling you, like what he said, be careful about the things you share, right? Let's move on. So he mentioned something about phishing, which is a form of social engineering but used in the technology space. So if you know the social engineering with the example we gave, I wanted him to get some information. With the case of phishing, someone is using social engineering to get a particular kind of information. And what information is that? Mostly it's your username and your password. Mostly. It can be other things. And the way it comes is through a lot of ways. Have any of you received something like this on WhatsApp? Have you received this? Now, this one is saying that it's a chat. You are there on WhatsApp and a chat from a friend that you know. It's not someone distant, your own friend. The person is saying that, oh, I'm sorry, I sent you a 6-digit code by SMS by mistake. Can you please pass it to me? It's urgent. Do you know what is happening here? When you receive that, do you know what is happening? Can anyone guess? What is happening? Say, please come. Or I should come. If I come to you, the mic will not be very audible. That's why. So please come. Give him a clap so that he feels more confidence coming.
Sir, please, the person is trying to get into your account by sending back the code.
By sending back the code. Clap for him. Okay. So those of you who have set up WhatsApp before, you know the process. You start and then you put in your number. And then they'll send you a code, right, to your phone. And then the code is picked up and then your WhatsApp is set up, right? The criminals are trying to take over people's WhatsApp accounts. And what they do is that, well, all I need is your number. So I take your number and then I go and take a new phone with WhatsApp, start setting it up. And I put your number there instead of mine. So a code will be sent to you, right? For the process to complete. You are there and you're wondering, why am I receiving a code like this? Like I'm not setting up anything. Now the criminal has to find a way to get you to tell them the code that was sent to you, but they have to be smart about it. So then they use social engineering and different ways to get it out of you. Someone would intentionally say something like, I'm the group admin on one of the groups you are on. We are verifying all our members. So we've sent them a code. Check your code and send it back to me. So you think you are providing your code to help be part of some group. Before you realize it, you've sent the code over to the criminal. He types it in his phone, and WhatsApp is set on his phone as if it were you. And now he has taken over your account. So if you are on a group and you start seeing people paste funny things, like they start pasting things like things that are not like them, like some business try and sign up for this business, you get cash. Most of the time, their account have already been compromised. So be careful when you're interacting with such people. So we've understood social engineering. I want us to move a bit further. Okay. Let's look at the best practices. Come back. What do you do to prevent social engineering? We've already discussed some of these things in our presentation. Be careful of what you share. All your social media accounts that you use, they have privacy settings. That means you can control who can see what and when. You can say that only your friends can see your friend list. Only your friends can do this. Only people that you have allowed can see certain pictures of yours. Go and apply these settings on the various accounts that you use, okay? And if you need any assistance, the Internet Society is here to assist you with any resources you need. Is that fine? Let's move on, right? Let's move on. Now, go back. I have a quick question for you, then we end the social engineering aspect. They said there was a recent armed robbery. We have 2 suspects. Based on their pictures, tell me who you think it is. So this one, you are using pictures to judge. Are you ready? Hey. How many of us are choosing A? How many of us are choosing B? You are all liars. I don't believe you one bit. Because if you were in your house and you heard that they were shouting thief, thief, and you came out and you saw 2 people running, this one and that one, you are likely going to choose A over B. Be honest with yourselves. The reason why you would choose A, right, over B most of the time is because you are a human being. And this is the point of social engineering. The idea is that as a human being, you have natural biases. Like you judge people by their looks. Do you understand? So someone who is a social engineer or trying to social engineer you can intentionally present themselves as a B, right? In order to gain your trust, to get you to do something, than to present themselves as what? A. But if you are naturally born as A, and I'm sorry, okay, hopefully you grow out of it. Right, let's move on, right? I think we are about wrapping up. So in the last part of what we are going to do, right, is staying safe online. I'm giving you tips, 2 tips you can use to stay safe online. Let's see. Some of these things have already been covered by confidence, so I will not dwell so much on it, right? So let's move on. Move on. Right, pause, go back a bit. Most of the issues you are likely to face online is as a result of websites that, have you ever had experience? You visit a site and multiple sites open. It's like so many things are happening at the same time. You've had that experience. It's a terrible experience. Sometimes you're just there and some message comes. Your computer has 10,000 viruses. Click this now. You've seen those things. Most of these are advertisements, right? And some of them are like bad advertisements. That can, if you interact with them, can mess up with your device or your account. So the advice here is that there's something called an ad blocker, right? If you are using the internet, whether it is on a laptop or a phone, just do a simple Google search and type ad blocker. Based on the browser that you are using, some of you use Firefox, some of you use Google Chrome. So just type ad blocker for the browser. So ad blocker for Opera, ad blocker for Google Chrome. Put it there. They will give you an ad blocker that most of the time you can install for free. And what it means is when you visit certain websites, the ads and things that pop up and distract you and sometimes can spam you or cause harm to your system, it will block all of them. So that is the first tip I'm giving you. The second tip I'm giving you is about your passwords. A bunch of passwords on the screen right now. It's about a bunch of passwords on the screen right now. Which of them is a good password? Which of them is a bad password? Can you see them though? So let me get ahead of myself and say that, look, you have I think today you've had the opportunity to shine a lot. Let me go to someone else, right? Which of them is a good password? Which one of them is a bad password?
The good password is the first one and the second one.
It's the first and the second one. Why is it a good password?
No one will even think maybe someone can type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but wouldn't even bother to type pass additional to it. But the third one, SNAM, maybe the person's name is SNAM, so he or she can try with your name, and the person can get into your.
Oh, please clap for her, okay? So by her answer, right? Very good answer. By her answer, she was also telling us the rules to avoid when we are setting. And what simply means that if you are setting passwords and the password is generally words, like words that can be found in the dictionary, wonderful, amazing, it's generally bad. Because these things are easy to guess, because people are familiarized themselves with it. If you are doing passwords that are of things personal to you, it's also bad, right? Yes, we understand that this person means that much to you, but don't use their name as your password. It's a very bad password. Because when someone knows you, right, they know the things that you like. So they will guess those things as your password. And if it goes through, it goes through, right? So normally, using words that are generally known are bad. Using things personal to you are bad. Like your date of birth. You think you are smart. You've just taken your date of birth and flipped it around and say, hey, I've set a good password. It's a bad one. Because if I know you and I know your date of birth, I can what? Guess it. So how do we set good passwords? I want to teach you something, and that's the last thing I'll do, and then we are done for the day. So I have a website, and you can note it down if you ever want to check this out. There's a website called howsecureismypassword.net. Howsecureismypassword.net. What it means is, and what that site does is, if you go there and you type a word or something that you are using to do a password, it will tell you and guess how long it will take for someone to be able to hack it. Do you get that? So it gives you an estimation of how difficult it is to crack that password. So I went there and I used two. One was Joshua, the other one was Millicent, right? Maybe they are dating each other, so they are using their names as password. Look at how long it took. How long would it take to crack Joshua? 1 what? 1 hour. How long would it take to crack Millicent? That is even less than a second. So generally, this is to let you know that passwords in general, names, words, they are bad. I'm going to teach you something. And the concept is called a passphrase. Not password, a passphrase. So a password is normally a word Millicent. Look at how long it will take to be able to crack it. Now, I'm not saying go and change all your Facebook accounts to Joshua Likes Millicent. No. What I'm just saying is that typically a phrase is stronger than a password, right? So you can adapt a passphrase, and because you see it's more, and it can be anything. It can be the chorus of a song you like, right? It can be an aspect of, do you have a song you like? What's your favorite song now?
Memories.
Memories. I mean, I don't know that song. Do you want to sing it? You have a song, okay. You have a question. Don't worry. We'll answer all the questions. Okay, just note it down for me. So, as someone, okay, let me take a hymn, right? Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Someone can take the part that says Amazing Grace, how sweet as their passphrase, and it will still be stronger than the typical password. And it doesn't mean one. And you see, the passphrases, they are easier to remember because they are that simple, right? Especially if you choose something that is quite catchy. And you can make passphrases stronger based on your own rules. So maybe if I choose Amazing Grace, how sweet, I can say that, okay, let me change all the letters in the Amazing Grace, how sweet, right? You know some letters look like numbers, right? Like one looks like I. So let me change all the letters that look like numbers into like their number equivalent. So if I'm doing Amazing Grace, right, the I can all the I's will become what? 1. And then if I take something like, let's say, an S, if there was an S, what would it be? If I apply that to it, it even makes it what? That much stronger. So ladies and gentlemen, we don't have much time, but I hope in this short time you've learned something. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's very educative. But before we take question, some of our able people may have to leave, so we want to take a group photo. Confidence, can you please help us where we can stand to get? Madam Harriet, where can you take the group photo? So, okay, can you please do us the honors? We quickly go outside, take a photo, and come back. We are left with the last presentation. The next 20 minutes will be out of here. So, we beg of you. Is here better? Or what you do it here? You want to be seated? Okay, so let's clear here and come upstage and take it here quickly. If you can take all of us, as many that can come up here. So let's clear this table quickly and take it here. Okay, please, you can come for the photo. Join us up here. Hello? The microphone. Okay. Please, join us up here for a photo. Quickly, please. Those sitting, are we photophobic? If not, please join us, please, quickly. In the next 20 minutes, we should be out of here. Okay, some can also climb the mountain up there. If you want to go up there, you can climb. Okay, please, if you have questions, you can come and queue up here so that we know we are taking questions, and after that we'll move to the live presenter. Does anyone have a question? Just one question. All right, you two can come. Anyone else? All right, 2 questions. Joe, these questions are for you, so you got to listen. All right, you go first.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to ask, your password was longer than 8 digits. Normally on, when creating accounts, yeah, we are asked to give password not longer than 8 digits, but yours is 8, so can I give more than 8 digits?
Right, that's a good question, right? So normally the advice is, they actually say not less than 8, right? So you can go as long as you want. That doesn't mean write a full paragraph as your password. That one, you yourself will suffer when you need to access it. But please, it's good to have more passwords. Like the length is good. If the length is longer, it's much more difficult to crack. So good question, right? Yeah, give it up for him, okay?
So, please, I wanted to ask, when, let's say, your WhatsApp account is hacked, how do you get it back?
Right, so if your WhatsApp account is hacked, you first, so you need to let your contacts, those you communicate with, let them know that your account has been hacked. And then tell them to report, right? So there's a feature in WhatsApp that you can select a contact and choose report a problem. So that WhatsApp is also aware of the fact that your account has been taken over. Now, personally, what do you do whilst your friends are reporting? Because you don't have access to your account, so you can't really do, you can't do anything unless it's reported. So once it's reported, just over a period of time, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, keep on trying to gain access back to your account. Right? Mostly the reports, they've started working on it. So the next time you try, they will give you the opportunity to put your number there and to get the SMS and then take over your account. And most importantly, those of you who use WhatsApp, I imagine most of us are 13 years and above, right? Because that's the age restriction on using these apps. Go to your WhatsApp menu, right? Go to your WhatsApp menu. I think, permit me to look at the actual procedure and then show you. I want to go to WhatsApp, and then, if you go to WhatsApp, right, this will protect you from a lot of the hacking attempt. If you go to WhatsApp, those of you using Android devices, there are some 3 dots at the top, right? Just press it. When you press it, go to your settings. So press the 3 dots, go to your settings. When you go to your settings, select your account, right? So 3 dots, settings, account. And the last step is, you see something called 2-step verification. Go and select it and enable it. What it means is that if someone were to even take over your WhatsApp account, they will let you configure another way that you authenticate that it is you. In a sense that maybe it can be a PIN or some code that is sent to your phone. So the person who steals your WhatsApp account, because they don't have physical access to your device, the 2-step verification will stop them in their tracks. They can't get that code that will be sent to you, and maybe you can say that they should send the code even to another number. But make sure that setting is enabled. It will save you from a lot. Someone asked a question when we were taking the pictures. He said that these social media companies, the Facebook, the Instagram and whatnot, you see, you are using the service and you have typed your password. Doesn't mean they can see your password, right? And I find it a very good question. For the most part, they can't. What it means is when you type your password, they scramble it and they store the scrambled one. Like it's called encryption. They encrypt it and store the encrypted one. So they see the scrambled version. They don't see your actual password direct, right? So the simple answer to that question is no, they can't see your passwords that you are using to log on directly. But one thing I want you to be careful of is when you log on to devices that are not yours. Because you are students, sometimes you may go and take someone's phone and then you log into the account. Or you go to some cafe, internet cafe, and you log on, but you forget to log out. So now someone comes and then he logs in and says, I have access to someone's account. And they start, some people who have malicious intentions can use it for bad. They go through your messages, if they find something that is compromising about you, then they start using it against you. So that's what I can say on that. There's a question at the back. Please.
Okay. My question is, when you create an account and you use a password, then after you are done using the account, you log out. Then you forget your password. How do you get your account back? When you create an account and you use a password, then after using the account, you log out. How do you, and you forget your password, how do you get your account back?
Thank you very much. Right, so, yes. So on this question, I want to toss it to the Internet Society, right? She is saying that she has an account, she set a password. Maybe she got ambitious and set some killer password she herself has forgotten, right? When she logs out, how does she get access to the account back again?
Okay, so I would like to say something about digital identity. You know, on this physical world that we are, everyone has his or her identity. So maybe you have your own face different from someone. You have your height and all these stuff. So this identifies you differently from someone. Likewise, the online world, we have what we call digital identity. So later you can learn more about it. Okay, so it's very important that when you're online, you leave a good identity of yourself, because when you're in the real world, it also traces you in the real world. Okay, so one thing that I've seen to be very important that identifies us is email address. So it's important that you have your own email address. Okay, instead of using, when you're creating an account for maybe Facebook, Twitter, and the rest, some of them ask you for either email or phone number, and it's easier to and it's easier to forget or lose your phone numbers. Okay, maybe you are having a phone and it gets missing, you just stop using that number. But if you have an email address, whichever device that you are using, you can still use the same email address. So it's simple. When you create, for example, a Facebook account and you forget the password, because you created the account with your email address, you can just tap on or click on forgot password. It brings a new page where you enter your email address. So this sends you a link into your inbox where you can just click on that link. You enter a new password that you want. So it's very important that when creating an account, you have an email address instead of a phone number, because phone numbers can easily like your phone can be stolen and you change numbers or something. So email address is the best. You can use it on all devices. And so I don't know whether you've gotten the process to reset your password through this process. So it's simple. When you have your email address, you log into the website. For example, so as I'm using Facebook, you go to facebook.com, and the homepage, you have login, and then mostly under it, you have forgot password. You tap on the forgot password, you enter your email address, it sends you a link into your inbox. You click on that link, and then you reset a password. So the best option in creating an account is to use your email address instead of your phone number. Okay. Thank you.
So I may, okay, he has a question, right? So you.
I have a question about reusing passwords. So, for example, I have a password. I use the same password on Instagram, maybe on the same thing on Facebook. What's your opinion on that?
Is here. So I also have a question for you. Right? I have the same password on Instagram, Facebook, and all my accounts. What do you think I should do?
My suggestion is like change, because if there's a data breach on one of the accounts, yes, they can access all your passwords.
I have nothing to add to that. Okay, change your account across different your passwords across different platforms. Because if they access one and it's the same, they can access everything. So please give it up for him again. Okay. Right, team. I may be leaving you soon, right? But I want to leave with just one last hint regarding something called sextortion. Have you heard of it? Have you heard of sextortion? Sextortion is basically someone, blackmailing you, right, with certain sensitive information, maybe like nude pictures and whatnot, in order to cause you to, do something. So, hey, I've stumbled across these pictures of yours that are naked. If you don't give me this money, I'll share it with your friends. I'm saying this because, some of us are in a space where these things may happen to us, or you may have a friend who it has happened to. The things I want to mention here are two. One is that whenever these things, at a point in time where you use these devices and these things come to your phone, he mentioned something, Confidence said something about sharing stuff. If you participate in sharing the nude pictures of someone, you are not the one who took it. But if you participate in sharing it at all, it is punishable in Ghana as in according to the laws, our laws. So by sharing it just to a friend, hey, have you seen this? You are part of the people who are seen as part of the entire crime. So that's the first thing I want you to take note of. The second thing I want you to take note of is this. The extortion that people do, sometimes they don't necessarily have to get nude or bad pictures of you to be able to do it. There's something that from where I work. So I work for a company called E-Crime Bureau. We work with the Internet Society in a lot of capacity and ways. But we also do investigations in the digital space. And one thing that we realized that was happening with the extortion cases that were coming in was that there were cases whereby the victims were not people who took nude pictures or anything bad. What the criminals did was that they went to because you don't use privacy settings to block who can see your profile pictures and your social media pictures, they go and select certain pictures of yours. Then they intentionally go to pornographic websites and look for pictures of people who have maybe the same skin tone or things like you, and they crop them and put them together. And then they tell you that we are going to share this to everyone, to tell them that you have been involved in a sex tape or some bad thing like that, right? If you don't want us to share it, give us some money. You see, it's not you. They've just stitched certain things together to make it look like it's you. But in Ghana, who will have time to even believe that it's you or not? By the time that you realize they can share it and can still cause the same damage. So the emphasis is on your privacy settings. Protect your social media account from people who can see and have access to them. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Your privacy online is very important. We almost drawing curtains to our event today, Safer Internet Day. We'll be taking our very last, but not the least, very important presentation from our sister Ruby from Open Foundation for West Africa. So I'll invite Ruby here to give us very brief, right? Or long? Very brief. All right, thank you.
I know that a lot of people are hungry here, so I wouldn't take so much time, but I think we've learned so much from today's discussion. Myself, I've learned so much, and this is the reality that we live in. Because I remember some years ago, my mom was busily engaging one woman who identified herself as a senior nurse in the UK, and she was speaking Twi with my mom, and she was so attentive and following the instructions the woman was giving to her. And I was like, no, can she put it on speaker so that I listen to what conversation the woman is having to her. And lo and behold, it's one of those scammers who have delivered some item here and need some mobile money to pay and a whole lot of things. But amazingly, she was not aware. She thought this was a genuine person. So talking about internet safety is a very vital conversation that we're having today because not many people are aware and we need to make people aware. And I'm here today to talk to you about Wikipedia because most of the things that we do here has to do with the internet. And I'm so much grateful to Internet Society for the good work they are doing in creating this kind of awareness to our community to be able to, for you to be able to identify some of these scams and things that we find ourselves online. I know some of you have been scammed before. Myself, I've been scammed before. I've fallen victim to this kind of online, but never again. It's not going to happen again. So today, at the end of my conversation with you, if you're able to answer some great questions, I have some gifts here for you. So please pay attention. It's going to be very brief. How many of you have heard about Wikipedia? No, like, how many of you haven't heard about Wikipedia? Just lift up your hands. If you don't know what Wikipedia is, just raise up your hands. No, it's not to paint you wrong, but it's just an exercise we are doing. So how many of you have heard about Wikipedia? No, just be bold. If you've heard about Wikipedia, just lift up your hands. Like, okay. Okay. So how many of you have at least used Wikipedia to search for an information online? Just lift your hands. Okay. How many of you haven't used Wikipedia to search for an information online? Or you're not sure whether you've used it before? You haven't used it before. Okay. How many of you know that you can contribute to Wikipedia? Do you know that you can write on Wikipedia? How many of you? So I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So roughly like 25 people here. How many of us are here today? Did anybody do a head count? We have no idea. Okay. How many of you have actually edited on Wikipedia? Wow, amazing. So I have one person. Okay. Do you consider yourself as a Wikipedian? Okay. Do you know that you could have an account on Wikipedia? Okay, so this is just like a background information. We all know that Wikipedia is one platform that we could all go to in search of information online. And Wikipedia has a global community called the Wikimedia, you know. So it's the Wikimedia is a global movement that has volunteers all across the world. And one of the most important things that we desire to do is to make information available online and accessible to everyone, especially for people who want to use it for educational purposes. So you realize that if you go online, you want to find information about what you're already studying, you could get those kind of information online. But imagine if you go to Wikipedia and you're getting the wrong information, what is going to happen to your studies? This is what we are talking about, internet safety. And in as much as we want to guard ourselves from people who are scammers and all of those things, it's important that we find the right information online. which is why I'm introducing Wikipedia to you, because Wikipedia is a fact-based website where we could access information that are relevant and accurate. And I'm sure some of you have heard negative things from your lecturers or teachers about Wikipedia, and I would like to hear some of them. So, what are some of the myths that you've heard about Wikipedia? In fact, the person who will answer the most questions, I have a gift for you. What are some of the things, negative things that you've been told by your teachers about Wikipedia? Yeah, come forward.
A teacher told me that their information is not credible and relevant enough.
Yes, and this is one of the biggest myths about Wikipedia, because teachers are saying information are not credible and they are not relevant on Wikipedia, so don't use Wikipedia. And most of the time, they don't have the reason or the fact to justify that statement, because that statement has been passed on from generations to generations. And so it's like the way we get fake news and we just share it to our friends without even verifying. I'm sure I think somewhere last year there was a headline that says Sarkodie was dead. And everybody was like, Sarkodie is dead. You know, you just read the headline and then we are quick to share the information, okay? And that's exactly what happened. But Wikipedia is a fact-based information. So I'm here to demystify that myth. What other negative things have you heard about Wikipedia? I need another person. I'm giving points, so please, if you have other points. You want to say something? What other myth have you heard about Wikipedia? Okay, come.
Okay, Wikipedia takes its information from Google. It doesn't have the information, so it does the research on Google and gives it to us.
Wikipedia thank you so much. Wikipedia takes its information from Google. This is also one of the myths. In fact, there's so many myths around Wikipedia that are not accurate, and this is one of them. Because actually, Google is the one taking information from Wikipedia. And even if you look at some of these softwares that we use, like Siri, you say, hi Siri, you ask Siri a question on your iPhone, it's going to pick some of the information from Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is an online encyclopedia, and it has a lot of other sister projects that you can benefit from, which is the Wiktionary, Wikiquote, Wikibooks, a whole lot of resources that you can use. And all of these resources are open and free for students to use. Okay? So if you're looking for media files or videos or educational photos for your project or for your presentations, you can go to Wikimedia Commons and you have access to free online content. Okay? And there are so many projects on Wikipedia, and these projects are contributed by volunteers all over the world. Sorry, next slide. And these projects are contributed by volunteers all over the world. And I want to clarify these two things. So there's Wikipedia, which is the online encyclopedia, and then there's Wikimedia. So Wikimedia is a global movement that you can be part of. And I'll entreat all of you to look out for Wikimedia communities to be part of, learn. It's a global network of volunteers across the world. And Wikipedia is just one of the projects that these volunteers work on and support. I wouldn't bore you too much about the history of Wikipedia. But Wikipedia was founded by Jimmy Wales somewhere in 2001. And it's amazing how one single idea has become a very big giant, impacting the world in so many ways. Next slide. So we'll be done soon. Next slide. Yeah, so I just want to share some quick facts about Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is covered in more than 300 languages across the world. So you can have Akan. Do you know that there is an Akan Wikipedia? Yes. We can have Akan Wikipedia, we have Ga Wikipedia, and all of these are content that you could access for your educational purposes. And it has more than 27 billion words. It has more than 6 million articles just on the English Wikipedia, 45 million in total on all other language Wikipedias. And it has a unique visitors of 5 billion, which is huge. It tells us that a lot of people are using that platform. They are going online. That is why you see that there are a lot of people who want to find their biographies on Wikipedia. We've had actresses, actors who want a biography on Wikipedia because it's so important to them. When they go outside the country and people ask them, okay, so who are you? You said, oh, I'm a musician in Ghana. Immediately, what they do is that they go to Wikipedia to check because they believe that if you are a credible musician in your country, they should find you on Wikipedia. And that's how they do their fact checking. Okay? There was one journalist who shared a testimony about how he got a very big contract from outside the country just because he was on Wikipedia. Because the people could attest to the fact that he's credible just because they found his biography on Wikipedia. Okay? So it's telling us that Wikipedia is not just like we just put any information there. There are people behind the scene, which is the volunteer community, always ensuring that the information put on Wikipedia is fact-checked. And you cannot just put content on Wikipedia just like that. Okay? You need to reference it with information that are credible. Credible websites. So you can't use some of these .com sites to write on Wikipedia. So the vision of Wikipedia is to imagine a world where every single human knowledge can freely share in the sum of all human knowledge. And that is our commitment. So we want you to be able to contribute to Wikipedia. And if Wikipedia, the English Wikipedia were to be printed, this is the volume of books that we'll be having on the shelf. But because of the internet, we could have it all on our phone, all on our website, all on our tablet. It tells us how important the internet is to our world today. So, like I mentioned, who write Wikipedia? These are the communities behind Wikipedia. We have large community, and you can be part of that community to learn. So we also do a lot of training. We offer a lot of training opportunities for the youth, for people to be able to contribute content online. I wouldn't bore you with much information, but as part of our organization, which is Open Foundation West Africa, we are an affiliate of Wikimedia. And what we do is that we have clubs in schools, especially at the university level. So most of you will graduate soon and join the university level. When you go to Tech, we have a club there at Shesi, and some few other schools. And we also have hubs that you can learn from. And what we do is that we train and build capacity of the youth to be able to contribute to content online because it's so important. I don't know if you've heard this, but they said the African story must be written by the African people. And for so long, we've had people from outside come to Africa to document our story. What are Africans doing about it? We are not telling our story. We are not writing about our story. But we are busily sharing fake news that someone publishes. But it's high time the Africans themselves tell their story. There's a map. And I'm saying this because, yeah, when you look at this map, look at Africa in particular. Have you seen it? It has this pale color. It's telling us that we are not, when we look at the contributions that are coming on about Africa online, it's not being written by the Africans themselves. You see, there's low participation from that region, which is a big opportunity for you, okay, to be knowledge curators. When you look at other part of the globe or the continent, you will see that there are high volumes of contributors, people who are documenting our stories, they are fact-checking, they are writing credible stories. But when you come to Africa, you don't find it. Very few people, between 1 to 10,000, and this is the maximum you find from Africa. There was a story, I'll tell you about documentation. There was a story I read recently, and a man was in a train. He boarded a train traveling, and he saw this beautiful lady who was coming, and he so much admired the lady. And the lady walked towards him and sat right opposite him. And he was wishing for the lady to sit by him. But suddenly, without communicating that to the lady just walked and sat by him. And then the lady was suddenly held his neck and was like, "Give me all that you have, and I wouldn't shout and tell anybody that you were harassing me." So immediately the man was like, he took a piece of paper and he wrote, "I cannot speak. Can you write what you just said?" And the lady wrote on the piece of paper, "I said, give me your phone, your purse, and everything that you have on you, or else I will shout and scream that you harassed me." And you know what that means? Like, for a lady to say you've harassed her, you are going to jail. It's not, if you are outside there, you are going to jail. So when the lady wrote that on a piece of paper, the man had an evidence. And he stood up and said, "Go ahead and shout." Do you get it? He told the lady, "Go ahead and shout." Why was he confident about that? Because he had an evidence, written evidence of what the lady intention was. And it tells us how important documentation is in our world today. And Africa is struggling a lot to tell their story because not much has been documented online. And so we are entreating the youth, which is you, to change the narrative online. Let's join communities like Wikipedia, Internet Society to learn how to contribute to safe information online for the use of our generation, yourself, and the people who are yet to be born. So that's my brief message to you all. We are Open Foundation West Africa. We do a lot of Wikipedia trainings. We also build digital skills of the youth. We teach you how to fact check information and put it online, because that's one of the very important things that we're facing in our world today, which is disinformation. There are a lot of crazy things out there, but I believe that if we as young people understand the relevance of documenting relevant stories, accurate stories, I believe that our world will be a better place. Because imagine when there is flood, okay, when it's really raining high, you want to call your family, you want to check online what's happening, which places are flooded, so that you could be safe. Imagine if those people who got burnt during this 9th September, I don't know what, actually, June 11 flood, had information earlier. I'm sure they wouldn't have used that route. Okay? It's telling us that information is very crucial, and accurate information is very relevant. I was searching, we are all in a secondary school. I was searching for a school for my cousin. And I was going online, hoping to find all the details I needed about the secondary schools in Ghana. And it would amaze you. You don't get the information you want. And do you know what that means? It means that I need to take a car to each of the regions with the schools that I have on my list to find the information for myself. Do you know what that means? It's going to cost me money. It's going to cost me my time. And I don't have it. So what happens? I will make a decision just based on my imagination or hearsay. Whether it's true or not, I don't have any information to justify that. And our schools are not documented online. They are not documented. You just find one history page, like a short, brief biography, and that's all. You check online, make a research, and decide to search for all the secondary schools in Ghana online. You see one line. It's so interesting. I was even searching for my cousin's school online, and some all manner of information. I don't even know, like you don't get the real details about the school to even understand what courses they are studying, how is the routine like, what is their shift like. You don't get all this information. Okay? But on Wikipedia, we can be able to document the stories. You and I can be able to document this information online and make it accessible to all. So this is what I'll leave you with. But I have some, about 4 souvenirs for the students who, I don't know, some people answered some questions earlier. Who answered some questions? Yeah, I think you did. So those who answered my question, I have a gift for you. Let's give them a round of applause. Those who asked a question or answered a question, yes, I have a gift for you. So there are a lot of, I don't know, just check your size and pick. There are a lot of communities, Wikimedia communities that you can be part of. And you're welcome. And I entreat you all to join the Wikimedia community. And you will be blessed. Thank you so much, Internet Society, for the opportunity. I see so much connection between our work because we all do work on the internet. And I believe that there are a lot that we can achieve together. And thank you, Laboni Senior High School, for having us. We are so much grateful. And we hope to do more. Thank you.
Any question for her? Any question for Ruby? Not question for Sheto. Not good for oil. All right, so you want to go first?
Auntie, please, I wanted to ask, for we that we only make research, how do we contribute, like in helping to feed information on your website, if you want to?
That's a very important question. How do you contribute to Wikipedia? So we have trainings, opportunities to help people to understand how the platform works, because I mean, you can just click on the edit button and you start editing, but you need to understand how the platform works. And so there are trainers. We have a Accra community who organizes, I don't know if you know Premier Points, but there's a community. We have an office around, opposite Bosphorus, the Premier Point building. If you come on upstairs, you see Open Foundation West Africa. We organize Wikimedia training every month, so you could be part of it. But you can follow us on social media, Open Foundation West Africa, or at OFW. You can write it at OFW Africa. We share all our, I think maybe Eugene can talk about the handles. And then you can get updated on the next training, and then you can participate. We do virtual trainings, and we also do in-person trainings. Yeah. So you can be part of it, and then you learn how to contribute. Yeah, come and pick your shirt. I have a shirt for you.
Thank you. Thank you once again. You, speaking of documentation, what do you advise that when we document, it would sell out more?
Document about your country. Document about Africa. Document about your stories. Okay? There are lots, there's so much. Look at our tourism industry. What are we telling the world about us? Because these documentations are going to open up opportunities for us. When people are out there, they see Africa like we are still living on trees. How do we change that narrative online? How do we make them understand that we have great minds? We have people, do you know that there are people who have invented great things in Africa? Have you heard about any of them? Hmm? We hardly hear about them. We hardly celebrate our own. So let's document about these stories that project Africa on the internet, that sells us to the world, that bring more opportunities to us. Because we are celebrating the Facebook guy, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. We are celebrating all these giants, and we are using their platform. But if an Africa create a WhatsApp platform, do we even use it? Do we even talk about them? We don't even care. So this is the challenge that we have. But you and I can change this narrative and project Africa on the web. That is all I'll say. So write about your stories. Write about the things that you love. Good. Sure, you can take the last one. Yeah, there's the last question. Come.
And please, you said Google actually gets its information from Wikipedia. Because we actually see when you search, then they'll tell you www.wikipedia.com. So is it that the Wikipedia media has actually permitted them to get their information, or you see?
That's a Gamal, you want to take that question? That's very interesting. Okay.
Okay, you know that Google is a search engine. Okay, previously Google was just a pure search engine without having like Gmail, Google Maps, and the rest. Google was just a search engine like which previous? It's not coming thing. Yeah. Bing and the rest. Okay, so you just go there, you type whatever information you want. Okay, and you know that there is one technology which is part of the internet. Word, hey, www. What's the full meaning? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So this is where every information on the internet is being stored. Okay. So if, for example, I create a website, I'll have a server where those information is hosted. Okay. So that whoever is trying to get an information with my device, so there's a server and a client. Okay. So in this case, your device becomes a client, and the device queries to the server to get information from the server. Okay, so this World Wide Web is a group of servers that host our web pages. Okay, so Google is just a search engine that queries those servers to get information from. Okay, so for example, Wikipedia or Wikimedia, if you want to search information from those servers, when you type maybe what is geography, then based on your the website search engine optimization, it brings up those information related to what you are searching for. So Wikipedia is let me say a server where those information is kept, and Google is a search engine where you type those information and then it fetches the information for you. I hope you get it. So later you can just go and do more research about it. Thank you.
I think you've said it all. That's basically it. You have another question? Yeah. It looks like a lot. Let's take the question at once and then we'll address it.
My question is that since you said you can have, like, contribute to the information stored on Wikipedia, does it, like, the information I give or I present, does it directly affect what people see? You understand? Like, what people see. Because if someone searches for, yes, on their website, because if I give the definition of baby matter, can someone go and look for matter and see what I've contributed towards that?
Yes. Do you want to address it? Yes, it definitely affects it. I want some of my colleagues to also like talk.
Okay, right. So first off, I would want to say Wikipedia is an encyclopedia, and it's an open encyclopedia. So imagine that you go to your library right now and then you're looking for some information about certain things. You either use the dictionary or a science encyclopedia or a geography encyclopedia, right? But this time around, you are getting the encyclopedia on the internet, on the web. It's digital and it's open. And open means what? It's free. Anyone else can have access to it. So once it's open, it gives you the opportunity to contribute to it in the sense that, like she said, Africans are supposed to write what? Their own story. So if we have an open encyclopedia on the web and we are supposed to tell our own story, why would we wait for someone else to come and write our story for us? So we are giving you the opportunity, or Wikipedia gives you the opportunity to contribute stories about your own. And you ask that when you make a contribution on Wikipedia, do people see it? Oh yes, when you make a contribution on Wikipedia, it goes on live. But what you must take notice is that there are administrators or patrollers of Wikipedia. They fact check every information that you put there. You understand? Because if they don't do that, anybody at all can just go on Wikipedia and go and say, oh, Laboni is like the best school in Ghana, blah, 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 without any references or without any, information to back it. So before you put anything on Wikipedia, you are given the opportunity to back it with references and then sources. So when you don't have any references or you don't have any sources and you just put out any information on Wikipedia, these administrators and these patrollers would put it down immediately.
So what protective measures does Wikipedia like put in place to protect those people who contribute on their platform?
So protective. So you mean that if somebody puts out an information that is probably threatening or is threatening. So like I said, it's all based on the administrators and patrollers. Their job is to ensure that every information that is put on Wikipedia is true and credible. Once you go and put out any false information there, within a minute or two, they will take it down. And they might even block your account if the information is severe or is threatening to the public. So these are their rules, and this is what they do. You get it?
Now, I'll speak to what you were saying about people seeing what you put. If in your free time, you can read Otumfo Osetutu's article on Wikipedia, there is a paragraph that says, role in restoring peace to the nation of Gabon. Read from there all the way to the end. If you are looking for the person who put that information there, it was me. And it is possible for you to also do the same thing. So when you come to join the community, you are taken through training. You are taught what the open movement is, the criteria for uploading, and you are given the skills. So, before I joined the community, anytime I went to Wikipedia to do research, I was thinking it was a group of geeks, tech experts who was putting the information together. But when I joined the community, I realized it is open. So it is regular people like you and me. I have joined it, and I've just given you an example of something that has gone live. When you join the community and you post, everything goes live online. So you are able to share, and that is where you make your impact. We are into open education, so we are trying to make sure that everybody has access to education freely. And when you do that, it goes live, so everybody sees what you do. So it's no complex process. It's something that is very simple, just like editing a Word document. It is very simple, and it's so magical. So if you want to know more, you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And there's so much benefits for joining us. There are the skill that you get gives you job opportunity in the movement. You get to travel across the world, just like Internet Society also does. So it's like we seem to have like this thing, this kind of mutual connection with the work that we do. And there are a lot of opportunities, scholarship opportunities, even those who want to study abroad just by being a volunteer. We've seen a lot of community members get full scholarships to study abroad just because of their contribution as a volunteer in the Wikimedia movement. So as you're going to be in the university, look out for those kind of opportunities, position yourself and be a change maker. Let's help to contribute to fact check credible information online to make our internet very safe for everyone across the world. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Francis.
All right, thank you so much, Ruby. And I want to thank you so much, wonderful student. Can you clap for yourself? It's been a long day. I know we may have questions, but we've really gone past the time we wanted to spend here. So we may have to draw curtains on the Safer Internet Day held here in Laboni today. I want to thank those who came to support us, OPU Foundation West Africa, for coming to give presentation, and I believe we've all learned so much. And E-Crime Below, I know their rep have left, but we appreciate them for coming. And members from the Internet Society who came to help us. And most importantly, Madam Harriet, who put all this lovely event together. I want to say a big thank you to Madam Harriet, HOD for ICT. So for the Internet Society, we will be coming here more often. Understand your ICT week is at the end of this month, and we'll be coming again to be with you, to support you, to also impart knowledge into you, and also learn from, because I've learned so much today from you students, and I believe you've also learned so much. And in as much as you are careful about sharing, you have to also share what you've learned, so that information will travel to other generations. So I want to thank you all for today, for your time, for the stress that we put you through. We were expecting just a 2-hour, but we've gone beyond. Very sorry, apologies. So thank you all for making time for this wonderful event. So see you again during your ICT week. Thank you. All right, so those who fortunately won the awards from Opium Foundation, okay, can you put on your T-shirts so that you take a photo with them? Is it possible? Can you do that for us?